Rhett and I kind of talked about Noah Hannafin yesterday.
We had it on driving
Flames
up.
And Noah Hannafin, are you all concerned? This sort of thing. And as we had said, like Chris Johnston, he's it sounds like maybe Lindholm, but the Noah Hannafin is that probably looking at a Hannafin trade. Is Hannafin is looking to move elsewhere, not going to sign long term. So then, of course, we panic on social media. So it's okay. So Noah Hannafin, guess he doesn't like Calgary. And okay, so then Gaudreau didn't like Calgary and Tkachuk. So that's 3 guys now that don't like Calgary. And you know what's in common? You know what? They're all Americans. Americans don't like Calgary. So you know what we need to do? Don't draft Americans. Don't ever draft Americans again because they don't want to come here. Yeah. They come here and they don't want to be here. We want guys that want to be here. So we can't draft them. And you know what? You better trade Coronado, whatever you got in the system right now. That's American. You better get him out while you can still get something for him. Otherwise, they're going to put you over the barrel and you're going to be left holding the bag. And you know what? You just better bring back former Flames, guys that did like it here. Find out who played here and liked it here, and you bring them back because then you know that you're in good shape and you'll be just fine.
It's June, hey?
Or maybe Noah Hannafin just maybe wants to change.
Maybe Noah Hannafin has hey, I like Calgary, but I know the cap's jumping a ton. I ain't signing shit this summer. Yeah, I'm trying to make more money. So if you're asking me to sign this summer, the answer is no, because that's my right to wait till free agency. I've been working my ass off for 7 years to get to UFA. Why am I just going to give that up?
Yeah, I could make $5-10 million more on a long-term deal in a year from now if I just wait.
Yeah, and we only hear bits and pieces here. They may have exchanged numbers and he was okay to resign, but he wants a number. The Flames are like, that's not a number we can do. So okay, I'm not resigning.
It is June.
The players have all the rights here. They can do what they want. You're a year from UFA. It is your full right, and no one should shame these guys if they want to just see out the end of their contract.
So if for Flames fans, if they keep him, go into next year.
So don't trade him, you're saying?
Don't trade him now. Keep him, go into next year. Hey, we're going to try and see if last year was an anomaly. So many things went wrong. It can't happen again. Let's try and get back in. And then you lose him for nothing next year.
Oh, I don't like that.
Flames fans you're not going to be happy.
Well, it's just kind of contradicts what Connie said, right?
But just you don't want to lose another guy for nothing.
Yeah.
But if you trade him now, what needs to be in the trade for you to be happy? Because I saw all kinds of things. Well, who's going to take? Well, you'll get a top 6, you get a top 4 defenseman in the trade.
You get a top 15 pick. You'll get this. You get that.
But then, don't go too young because you don't want guys too young, and you don't want guys too old because
I want young.
You don't want too many Americans. You don't want this. You
can't have Americans.
I think that the challenge that Craig Conroy is in is that, like listening to you guys yesterday, I think Rhett makes really good points. If you had full control of the ship, this is a really good time to say, are we loading up to try to win something now, or are we going to get young? The challenge is if the marching orders are what they've been for the last ever with this majority owner, that's not his marching orders. His marching orders are going to be competitive, but also he'll know he has to get younger. And so he's trying to walk this tight wire of getting younger, but also remaining competitive. And to Rhett's point yesterday, tough to lose a top 4 defenseman and feel like you're not losing a bit on the competitive side. But you also are freeing up some cap space. You also have other assets that you could move. I don't think if you're moving Noah Hannafin, you aren't finding another D-man somewhere. You can get younger and, also remain competitive, but that's hard. That's what Craig's got in front of him. How do you do that?
It's tough because on one hand, the argument is you'll get a lot for Noah Hannafin because look at the market. Look what's available for a defense.
Yep.
But then here you're kind of saying, well, if you get rid of Hannafin, you'll find a defenseman. You'll get a guy that comes in.
Well, you won't get a Noah Hannafin. I wouldn't want to suggest that. Yeah. And so what I think you want is someone that could play number 4. Because I feel like between Shillington and Tanev, you can't be 100% that Tanev's going to be healthy or that Shillington's going to come back to normal. Now, I think it's probably reasonable to suggest that for large portions of the season, that'll be a fine second pair. But you just have to expect that Tanev's going to miss some time and that there'll be some hiccups along the way for Shillington at some point, whether that's early because he's been off or just because there's a lot of uncertainty around. We don't really even know what happened. He just needed time. So do you have someone that you could bring in that is a good third pair defenseman, but in a pinch could play second pair for a month or two? That's the type of player that's going to help them bridge to someone that either they draft this summer in the teens or a young player that comes back in a package, or just buying time for guys that you're trying to develop at the American League level.
Who's done a good job? What team has done a good job of bridging?
Boston. They had Chara old, Bergeron.
I don't know if they've been bridging. They've been a top team for a decade. I don't know.
But they've also, they're doing what the Flames are trying to do, which is they know they have guys longer in the tooth, but they've also done a good job of finding ways to get young players in. Now, the last couple of years, they've been selling some firsts to bring in some guys, but I just look at the way that they've gone about their business. And I'm like, we thought they should have plateaued by now age-wise, but they still have a pretty decent stable of guys that aren't really old. And they've done a good job of bringing goalies in. Mm-hmm. They've done some things at free agency, like maybe Taylor Hall doesn't work, but Linus Ullmark looks like a great free agency signing. And it hasn't been like full get young, but they've found a way to lose a Chara and not be worse. And I feel like when Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci are gone, there's going to be a step back. But by then, they'll probably have found another young forward to come in there. And I look at a lot of the moves they make, and I'm like, that's impressive, because it's not like they've drafted tremendously well, but yet there they are, still competitive.
I kind of agree. And I'm just kind of, because I'm trying to struggle. I just think over the years of guys who have come in here and given you quality minutes in terms of defense. And you had Forbort, but he was kind of a deadline guy, right? You got Schlemko years ago off of waivers. Stetcher came in and played pretty well.
Deadline.
Obviously, we saw what happened with in Columbus now, 4x4.
Goodbranson.
I wonder if that's the easier move.
Go find a 5 that can play 4 for a couple months if you need it.
And I'm with you. I like Stetcher. I guess, Rhett, I'll ask you, I don't know if we talked about this necessarily. How big of a risk is it for Conroy? Let's say you're going to move away from Hanifin and maybe you don't get a top 4 minute muncher, quality, proven NHL guy back. Mm-hmm. You are putting faith that Oliver Shillington is going to come back. What's the level of concern for you that he can get back to where he was? What was
the problem?
When you go back, what truly was he?
Yes.
What is he away from Chris Tanev a year and a half ago?
He had 1 year. One.
Yeah. It was
played
a massive
one
breakout.
good year. The rest of it, you were like, you're squinting. Like, so to say, what's he kind of come back as? I don't know. He could have been a one and done kind of season if he'd have stayed. I don't know. It's not like he's put together 3 or 4 years of quality hockey like Erasmus Anderson, right?
No.
Like, he's still young. He skates like the wind. I like how he played the last time we saw him. But
it's not a sure
before
thing.
that, there were a lot of issues with him.
I think you're betting on the tools and hoping that the environment's a more nurturing one for him. No, I guess not even for him because he wasn't in it last year, but we don't know if those things are related or not. But the last you saw him, he was a guy in his mid-20s where everything clicked with the right partner. That partner's still here. His tools aren't gone. He's still going to be a great skater, right? He's not going to forget that. I sort of thought as the season went on, his game sort of fell off a bit 2 years ago. He had a couple ugly hits into the end wall. But look, you're asking him to be a 4. And could you find a 4B if he doesn't pan out? And because I don't worry about him if he has to play your third pair. And to be fair, there's a lot of teams where it's like, yeah, we only have 3 top 4 defensemen, and now we're at the deadline. Let's go find the 4th.
So what are we looking at pairs wise? Just off the top.
I think it has to be Anderson, Uyghur is your top pair. Those are your top 2 defensemen if Hanifin's gone. Tanev is your right side second pair. Shillington had his only great year in the NHL next to him on his left. You put those 2 together. And then you've got Zadorov plus whatever you have back, whether that's Michael Stone or Troy Stetcher, or if you think Gilbert's got another step in there or someone else in the system can step up, or to be fair, a guy you signed for $1 million on a 1-year deal that can be a 6-7. I don't worry about the third pair. It's what Rhett's worried about. Who can play that second pair if one of Tanev or Shillington is in there?
Yeah. There's concern with both of those
guys.
Guys.
Let's just stop for a second. What are we doing? We're slapping a team together again.
Kind of. I mean,
not kind of. We are. We're going, oh, hopefully we can get this. I don't think Tanev is going to make it through the year, is my opinion. I think he's been beat to piss. And I think, sadly, once a guy of his style play gets to a certain style of age and suffers the type of injuries that he's had to overcome over the last 18 months, the road to recovery is very minimal chance that that's my opinion. I'm very good at medicine, but I'm not a professional. So there's a huge concern there. Shillington, you don't know what he is to begin with. And now what we're doing is what you can do and what teams do. Okay. Are we any good? I don't know, but we can't be bad. So
No, I think it's just
let's spend a little here and fill this hole and try and tweak this. And
we're both with you, right?
It's not a plan, though. It's not a plan.
But it's what the owner's telling him to do.
No, we don't know
fine,
that.
Then
if history's taught us
I'm just saying, if you trade Hanifin, what do you need back? Do you need a guy, or are you happy with that pairing? Because Rhett, I'm with you on Tanev, and I have nothing to back it up other than just watching guys who have played, and I feel like Shillington is kind of tied to him. That Shillington's success is related to whether or not he's healthy, and if he's not, is Shillington? Is he fine? Is he now? What is he? Is he a 5'6", or is he another year closer to being a top pair guy?
Because of what you're trying to do with a 5'6". But I can be wrong.
Yeah, I know.
But my whole general thing is, I don't disagree what you're saying, Pinder. And if those are the marching orders, those are the marching orders.
Yeah.
But it's exactly what we talked about. Please don't do this. Please.
Have a plan. Have a long-term, have a 5-year plan, right?
Yes, let's have a better plan. If you're trading Hanifin, fine. Restock the shelves.
Yeah. Well, and look, there's been a lot of suggestions out there. You move Hanifin, you get a pick higher than theirs in round 1. You get 2 picks in the top 16, I should say, in this draft class. That could be the stocking of the shelves you're talking about, Rhett. And if you get lucky or, moderate luck, and that second pair is okay, you might have done what we just talked about, which is walking that tight wire. But there's a lot of ifs there. I think we're all in agreement here. This would be a really ideal opportunity to get young and say, don't obsess about the playoffs this year. You've got a great opportunity to sell high on a lot of guys.